So Apocalypse of the Gods chapter number 9, we will have the conclusion of the Wukong Prometheus fight. This chapter we will have a winner. Before that though, you guys know the deal. I need you guys to subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. Stay on this side of the Record of Ragnarok algorithm and become part of our community we have built here. Without further ado, let's get into it. We start where we left off last chapter. Of course, we saw Prometheus slammed by the 15% attack by Wukong, slammed into the crater. We get a little bit of a flashback here for Wukong as they say, journey to the west, a tale chronicling his travels across human civilization. It's become a tale of entertainment and whimsy. We get a shot of young Wukong. His design is hilarious. And he just faces off with some more of the gods that we kind of saw in his attack. But he's actually flanked by something of a crew behind him. I'm sure some of you guys know who these figures are. The guy on the horse looks really cool to me. They fought against these gods, and the true story of his travels was full of brutality beyond imagination. In order to battle gods, in order to topple gods, what he came up with was surely a divine feat. After innumerable victories and after innumerable losses, what he finally achieved was this. The technique obviously we saw, becoming unbreakable, stacking all the pain that he takes and dishing it back out to his enemies. We see Enmedio say exactly, with what he did, that boorish bumpkin of a monkey earned the name, the great sage, heaven's equal. He who stands shoulder to shoulder with the gods as he stands atop one of the fallen gods. We see Zeus now reacting as he says, I suppose in the first place, those with the qualification to become a god aren't decided only by strength. That much is obvious. A god's role isn't limited to fighting after all. So for him, the title of Great Sage Heaven's Equal is a bit much. If we're talking about qualifications, that man is still a low-ranked god at best. Really, he's no different than any other young punk. However, if we're talking only strength, that man is triple S class amongst all the gods in Valhalla. Insane statement from Zeus. I might go as far as to say that might be one of the best statements in the series, coming from Zeus, who effectively is in that triple S class. But I wonder where he would classify himself. Would he say he's quadruple S class, or is he saying that Wukong's on his level? I don't know. We see Prometheus still stuck in the crater, and we get confirmation that he was actually knocked out from this attack. He comes to and he thinks to himself, what happened? Oh, that's right, the fight. And at that moment, you see, of course, the chain breaking. So the chains are breaking in real time now again. Prometheus looks down. He tries getting back to his feet, but he spits out a ton of blood. The damage he's taken is immense. He gets back to a knee and Ares is screaming, he got back up, I can't believe it. Hercules is fuming on the sidelines as it's stated that with his eons of experience in battle, despite what he wished to be true for Hercules, he already knew beyond a doubt how grave Prometheus' condition was. Despite his tenacity and willpower, his body was already demolished, to the point where even the slightest movements were completely and utterly impossible as you see Prometheus collapse back to the ground off of the knee. Really kinda sad. Hermes then says, this man withstood 30,000 years of torture like it was nothing. Lord Prometheus with his tenacity, I can't believe this. Ares says, in just one blow, truly, amongst the outer gods, he is unbreakable. We then see Ahura Mazda, one of the fighters on the roster. They say he's an ancient Persian god. I've seen ancient Iranian god as well, but he's a two-faced god, and he says, with a name like Unbreakable, I figured he was going to be a fighter whose selling point was defense. It seemed like that monkey was a big fat nothing, but contrary to that name, he also possessed a terribly pure, unadulterated, offensive weapon. He truly is a perfect warrior. The great sage Heaven's Equal, as the rumors say. No, I recognize him as even stronger than what the rumors say. They're glazing Wukong to the moon this chapter. We also get the epithet for Ahura Mazda here, as it says outer god unbalanced. So we've seen unbreakable for Wukong, we've seen unruly for Kulin, we've seen unstoppable for Ra. They all get an epithet. His epithet is unbalanced. Prometheus is still not giving up though. As he collapsed, he's now crawling toward Wukong. Wukong looks at him and says, don't do it. I don't want to have to kill you. One of the most savage lines you're going to have. Like, I don't want to have to kill you. Stay down, bro. Prometheus gets up to his elbow. He's gritting his teeth. He puts his arm down and he's fighting with everything he has just to stand back up. The crowd is appalled. You have ladies in the crowd covering their mouth. They're saying how unsightly. The fight has already been decided. Hercules is so immensely angry. He's cracking his knuckles. He's squeezing his hand to the point of bleeding as he watches on as Prometheus again fights digs his arm into the ground, gets back to the knee once more. His eyes are even white. That's how much pain he's going through. Wukong says, why? Why go through all this? Why go that far? We get a great shot of Prometheus still on a knee, blood trickling all over his body. As we get a little flashback for Prometheus here, this might be within his own mind. As we see Zeus, young Ares, young Hermes say, hey Prometheus, we're leaving you in charge of humanity for a little bit, and he looks like he's completely unsuspecting. The reason is that Zeus and the other gods were busy after defeating Kronos with things in the god realm. So they didn't have time for humanity, I guess. So that's the reason why Prometheus had a connection to humanity to begin with. Zeus goes on to say, besides, you've got the time to do it, don't you? Do this for us. So he did it as a favor to Zeus initially, and it led to all of this. It is said that the gods created humanity in their own image. However, in actuality, their lives could not be more different from God's. We see this image of this giant wild boar chasing after humans. They're terrified, running in fear, and Prometheus intercepts the boar, slams it into a tree, seemingly kills it, and they eat it. The humans run away from Prometheus though before that, and he's confused. He picks up the boar on his shoulder. He acknowledges them as being cowardly and fragile. He says there's nothing to fear, and then they end up all getting along. He helps them recover from their wounds. He helps them build shit, and he eats and breaks bread with them. He had a great time. He was truly happy, and he recognized them as not just fragile and cowardly, but also pure. We get this great panel of Prometheus smiling, taking it all in. That's all flashing through his mind right now as he's on that knee. Now, aloud, he says the words, because I love humanity, in an awesome panel with one of his eyes completely white, one eye open, blood all over his face, still on a knee in front of Wukong defiantly. He's of course answering the question, why is he doing all this? Everyone in the crowd is silent. Wukong now grits his teeth and says, don't make me throw up. Some people won't like this, but Wukong says, you should know better than anyone, no matter how much we reach out to them or love them, humanity cannot be saved. So a lot of people thought that like Wukong would fight for humanity. He doesn't seem to care about humanity, so I can see some people complaining about this in the comments. We'll see though. All of us and our travels, in the end, after all that, it didn't change anything. While he says this, we get this panel and there's like a montage of like humans committing atrocities and all these other things. We see Wukong's friends say big bro as Wukong thinks to himself, save humanity, then screams out aloud, and then what, huh? Save them for what? Prometheus answers back, and then nothing. What reason do you need to save your friends? Reminiscent of Adam. What father needs a reason to save his children, to protect his children? Prometheus, a little bit less aura, says, what reason do I need to protect my friends? Cool moment, and Prometheus actually does make his way back up to his feet in an epic panel for me. He looks awesome standing back up, standing tall. Ares, Yara, they're both shocked that he was able to get back up. And Prometheus now says, well now, what do you say, great sage? As you can see, I can still fight. Epic moment. But in that moment, you see the crowd like is very worried. Yara's sweating, the crowd's sweating, and Wukong stayed silent for a minute. He then says, hey referee. She says, huh? You mean me? And he's like, yeah, hurry up and call it already. Yara says, huh? Oh, Prometheus lost consciousness while standing up. The match is decided. First round, second match, the winner is the great sage, heaven's equal, Sun Wukong. First round, second match, Prometheus versus Sun Wukong. Fight time, 20 minutes, 25 seconds. Final blow, Shifeng Wei Li, winner, Sun Wukong. So a couple things. Number one, 20 minutes seems absurdly long. This did not seem like a 20-minute fight. That might be a typo. Two, a lot of people thought that Prometheus was still going to have one more wrinkle in his back pocket. He did not. He got back up to his feet. Cool moment, Whitebeard type of moment. KO'd standing up. But that was the end. He was effectively one shot. Some people will be upset about that. I've already seen a lot of people complaining that the end of this fight is lackluster. But as Wukong walks away, Prometheus finally falls. He falls to his back, but before he can reach the ground, Hercules has jumped into the arena and caught him. We actually see that Hercules respects Wukong as he says, until the end, you refuse to finish him off. For that, I thank you. Great sage, heaven's equal. We get some narration that says the back of the victor somehow feels sorrowful. My thoughts on this is that Prometheus may be the linchpin that turns Wukong to the side of humanity potentially. Maybe this is the way that they end up writing Wukong out of the tournament. Maybe he will concede for somebody else to progress. Maybe coup. We'll see, because that's obviously going to be his next round matchup. I'm not sure where the storyline goes, but maybe Wukong wins and he wants to help out humanity with his provision, all stemming back to Prometheus, because it does seem like this showing resonated with Wukong in some way. Obviously, they wouldn't say he felt sorrowful if he didn't. Also, I told you guys when this series started, we're probably going to get shorter fights, especially in round 1, so don't get your hopes up too high for each individual fight in the early rounds. I would say that this series is going to be much more analogous to Kengan Ashura, and how it slowly builds up to greater and greater fights. You have to get through a lot of fights early to get to the more intense fights, the winners, the victors bracket. We'll see where it goes. I'm still going to keep pushing on with the content. I still like the series. I think that this was really good writing for Prometheus. I just think that some people will be disappointed in his showing, but some people will be happy because they think that Wukong shouldn't be in an extreme div fight, that he should be dominating a god like Prometheus like this. And Zeus himself called him a triple S tier fighter. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you enjoying this series, and did you enjoy this fight? And what are your thoughts on a potential Ku versus Wukong matchup for round number 2? Shout out to the new member Bias Potato and the OG first member Prophet. Appreciate all the support from you guys. If you guys want to join the channel, it's always appreciated. As always, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.